Hey guys, it's Glenn from Glenn's Car Collection. Just wanted to, I guess, give you some tips on how to, if there's a car you want and you want to be really one of the first on the list to get the car and the car sells out, what you have to really do, like I got this first allocation for the M2 here. I've had this car about 5 months, and you'll see in my 5-month ownership video. And how did I get the first one? Well, when I heard the rumors, subscribe to all the, not just the automotive magazines, but all the internet ones, Motor Authority, Jalopnik, you name it, there's a million of them, Reddit. And when you hear rumblings about a car, I heard rumblings about the M2 coming out. So the first thing I did before it was even confirmed is I started calling my local BMW dealers to see if they had a list. I remember when the GT4 came out, I called some Porsche dealers and they just said like, hey, they're sold out, even if they were going to get 20 of them, they have 30 people on the list already. So for the M2, I said, well, let me use it as a learning experience. And as soon as there was a rumor that there was going to be an M2, I started calling dealers. Now, I live in a populated area, so where I live, there are about 3 BMWs within 15 minutes of me, 3 BMW dealers. But the one I've always had the best luck with is probably about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes with traffic from my house. So I went to them first. They were saying that there wasn't going to be an M2, that they have the car right now, which is basically an M235. They didn't think BMW was going to make an M2. What I want is really an M235. And I said, no. I said, I want the M2. And if you're telling me there is no M2, you obviously don't have a list yet. So if they make an M2, I want to be first on the list. And be ready to put your money down right there. So I put a deposit. I got first on the list. And then, a couple months later, the car was announced. I did everything in writing with emails, reminded the dealer that I'm first on the list, and gave them a deposit. Also, when you put a deposit on the car and fill out a bill of sale, the first thing you need to do is make sure what you're buying that car for is in writing. So even though I had no idea what pricing or options for the M2, the first thing I had the dealer do was put that I was buying the car at MSRP. I'm totally fine with buying it at MSRP, especially to be the first one. But what happens is a lot of people make these orders, and then when they come up, the dealer either marks up the car and you're stuck paying for it or walk away, or they add needless options. I've seen a lot of local dealers put on wheels, put on some tacky carbon fiber bits, and then charge another 10K extra for the car. Fully loaded, this car was $54,000 with the executive package, Long Beach Blue, and the manual transmission. And then what happens? You're buying a car for $64,000 with these needless options. And remember, depreciation is going to be from the $54,000. So that $10,000 is gone when you go off the lot. Probably even more than that. Probably 20 grand is off when you go off the lot. So just keep that in mind. Always make sure you get it at MSRP. Now, if you want to lease, dealers will tell you, and it is true, the lease rates come out every 30 days. Every month there's different lease rates. So if you ordered this car, let's say in June, and you actually got it in November, it's not going to be the same lease rates than it was in June. So the dealer will have to rerun them again. All right, so that's my tip for you. You're not bound by your local dealers. If all these dealers here in New Jersey didn't have a car and I had to find a dealer in Kansas, I would have done that. You can always pay for shipping, factor that into your price. If it's going to cost me $1,000 to ship it and close, is it still worth it to me? If you think, paying basically, it would be the same essentially as paying $1,000 off sticker if I found it in New Jersey. So that's for you to decide, but there are ways to get the car. Don't assume, a lot of people tell me, and that's incorrect, you don't have to buy the car where you're going to get the car serviced. I typically buy my cars out of state because everything in here is expensive in New Jersey, and then I just have it serviced at the local dealer. The local dealer will never ask you if you bought the car there. That's a totally separate department of their business. They want to make money servicing the car, even if it's free service like BMW, so they're not going to care where you actually bought the car from. I have had dealers, when I bought a car at another dealership, is when I take it in for service, they put their license plate. So if it's ABC dealer and I bought it from Joe Smith, they'll take Joe Smith's thing off, license plates, and put on ABC dealer. So I've had that, but that's not on the end of the world. Who cares? But don't think that you're bound by your local dealer to get a good price. If anything, put a couple dealers together, and then you can negotiate from there. So maybe one dealer has an M2 coming in sooner than another. So right now, if you're not on the list and you're trying to get an M2, I would start with your local dealers and keep making a circle outside that. So if you have a couple dealers by your house or just one, call that dealer. Tell them you're interested in M2. You're ready to buy today. Always say you're ready to buy today, and then make sure you are. So get your finances in order. And you'll be surprised how many times a dealer will call you with somebody that fell through. And they'll know it's an easy sale, and they'll go through you first because you're serious. Even, if you think that's a real dealer and you got a real good shot, even give them $500 as a deposit to show that you're serious. So there's a lot of things you can do. I remember when the new GT3 came out, 991, I decided not to get it because you couldn't get it in stick. But I went to a dealer in Pennsylvania, I believe, and they told me they had a sold out list, blah, blah, blah. And then, a couple months later, they called me and they said, somebody dropped off, do you want one? I decided I didn't want one because it wasn't in the stick. So I didn't think it would hold its value. I thought it would depreciate, and they're just making too many of them, in my opinion. So I passed. But if you're looking for an M2, do the same thing. I think if you want a white DCT, you'll see those for sale. That seems to be the ones that are sitting in the dealers. If you want any other color and you want it in stick, you're probably going to have to somehow get somebody's order that fell out. So my advice, again, keep calling dealers. Even if you have to call 10, 20 dealers and they're out of state, tell them you're serious, you're ready to buy today for an M2, and I bet you will get a call probably a couple weeks from now, a month from now, with a deal that fell through. The salesman is going to go to you because he knows that's an easy sale. And the salesmen are actually competing against each other. So if you gave the general manager or the salesman your number, they're going to call you rather than somebody else who works at their store, sell it to another customer coming in the showroom floor. They're going to lose that sale, and they're going to want you. So what you should even do, even better advice now that I'm thinking about it, ask for the sales manager and tell him you're serious and ready to buy. Give him all your contact information, your cell phone. He can text you. And I bet you, some will fall off the list. And because things happen, people put themselves on the list. Maybe they're switching jobs. Maybe they just can't do it. Maybe they chose another car because they were tired of waiting. So you'd be surprised. A lot of times dealer order cars and say they're spoken for, and maybe they're trying to capture the market by doing an over-market sale. Sell it for higher than MSRP. What do they call that? Market adjustment. So maybe the market won't be so hot in a couple months, and then all of a sudden they'll just be glad to get MSRP. And who knows? Maybe you'll even get a discount. All right. So that's my advice for getting an M2 now. Leave a comment below. Let me know how your search is going. And be sure to subscribe and share this video. Thanks again, guys. Thank you for your support. This channel doesn't exist without you guys. Thank you.